Hi, this is Katie Oshiwanita with HJR Seminars LLC. This is Harmonizing Journey Insights Series. The topic is the normies. I'm going to be very loving and kind, by the way, with that. I'm the navigator, the HJR navigator, helping others to connect with their multidimensional clan family self. Okay. So, we all, okay, at some level, so something we're just going to have to deal with. We've either been or SRA, or MK Ultra programmed in our life at some point, at some level, being in Western civilization. Okay. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. In fact, the more educated you are, the more programs you have been indoctrinated into. Intellect alone is not going to help you out, okay, in regards to breaking these programs. So, in essence, okay, we all are normies. In other words, we all have those blinders on to where we can't quite see what else is going on around us. Some maybe have bigger, wider blinders than others, but we all have some level of blinders on, okay? So compassion is essential right now for all of us, all right? Stop making wrong your fellow man. Whether it is talking about a normie or a truther, especially finding fault with another truther, because we're all seeing, just because they see something different than you do, okay, doesn't mean they're wrong. Just means they see something you don't see. We're all a team. We're all working to find the truth, okay, in a world where we have been conned repeatedly, right? As far as I can tell, the MK Ultra is a 3-letter op under the Deep State SRA programming umbrella. The SRA cult have been used to program the human elite families. And these elite families are basically really anodrak lineages with a strong amount of hybridized angelic human that have the 12 DNA strand capability families, okay, or of the anodraks, okay, lineages. So they're targets by the anodraks who don't, or draconians and Anunnaki that don't have that, okay, all right, that would like to take, that have like to eat up world in a sense. And they've been working on this planet for thousands of years. Okay. Thankfully, after thousands of years under their mind control, we are coming out of it bit by bit. In regards to the MK Ultra programming, it's a multifunctional training program. It was supposed to have ended a few years back, but yeah, like, right? Someday we will know its actual new name. I just say the Western Civilization programming program. But they use drugs, music, songs, specific frequencies, electrical shock treatments, things that affect different parts of the brain and scramble the brain a bit. As their programs advanced, they became more ballsy in more recent years and incorporated more of the SRA activities of um, sex, and then kind of A, B, and there's a U in there, SE. And then we have that other word that starts with an R and an A. I think there's a P there someplace and ends with an E. Okay, kind of words that can smack you. To break the identity, okay, into subpersonalities, which isn't hard to do because we are kind of made up of subpersonalities at a certain level. They would then cultivate one of these subpersonalities to their bidding. A handler is assigned to maintain and work with this subpersonality. The Manchurian Candidate comes to mind as an example. This SRA generational and now the MK Ultra family program takes about 3 generations to reprogram a society. Okay, just 3 generations to reprogram a society into whatever program they want you to run. Okay, and they even do this to their own military and their own 3-letter agencies. Okay, and then they're just running on the societies or groups are just running on autopilot at this point. The pineal, okay, is a vital part of the brain for them to shut down. Okay, because I just went through all the different things that they utilize, and that's if you're in their facility. When we're talking about the human race as a whole, obviously not everybody can go in their facility. So they needed to find a way to connect, do stuff with the pineal gland, okay? Because that part of the brain connects you directly to your inner being, spirit self. So the effects of like fluoride and deuterium in your water can cause calcification of the pineal. When that occurs, you become sluggish and zombie-like, kind of robotic. When in that state, you are much more susceptible to subliminal programming. Okay, so those people that think, I never get to, did you drink regular tap water? Did you drink it as a kid before you do better? Okay. Examples of industries that have been under the deep state control are, most of these are not surprising. Hollywood, the music industry, major corporate conglomerates, but sadly, most of the traditional mainstream religious organizations, if you do the research, you find they belong to the Masonic organizations. The Masonic organizations have been taken down and controlled and part of this network system. I'm not saying there's not good stuff, organic stuff, good stuff in it, Ma Sun, all that, but as a whole, the organization is not solid anymore. It's not something you want to be part of. 3-letter agencies, obviously. Social media, mainstream media is their biggest tool. Tools of the trade. Again, it's more of them are holographic inserts, because we live in a holographic reality, 3D dimensional holographic reality. Subliminal messaging. Again, that sex, and then AB, and there's a U there, and SE. The R word, alien abduction. 3-letter agency abductions, which actually is probably a higher percentage of that over the typical alien abduction, or actually even with the alien abduction, they're working somehow with the government. More specific examples: Hollywood sitcoms, social media, mainstream media, repetitive messages that seed an idea. Doesn't matter whether it's truthful, repeated enough, becomes a transparent belief, and it is the truth, right? Like Orange Man Bad, or the adulterer, the adulterer back in office. The obsessive um, I had a word for it. Face diapers. The obsessive face diaper wearing. My little kitty's coming up. Like when you, no sweet girl. Like when you are in a car, when the mask, the face diapers. Like people are in the car by themselves, really walking in the street by themselves. Nobody around them. They're wearing that, and it's masks. Oh, sorry, Callie. Masks cover your face. You can't really breathe, and your body's not taking in the elements around you to develop an immunity to. You compromises your immune system wearing them all the time. Special circumstances, especially in a doctor situation, health thing, with certain things, okay, fine. But out in the real world, anyway. But that's the thing people are doing. Mindlessly, by the way. All right, enough on that. And wait, one more little part of it. The body can take care of itself, okay? But part of this programming that'll built up to where we could think that was okay is nature, body, bad, intellect, good, over intuition. Okay? Another example is the current. It is an experimental drug that actually harms more than it helps and doesn't really stop the infection. It doesn't do anything in that regard. People that take the Jabberwocky have to do everything else that the people that don't take it do. Except that you have the chance of some of the side effects of the bad batches. Most of the batches thankfully aren't, but it's Russian roulette, right? Yet you try to talk to someone indoctrinated, these indoctrinated people can't handle it. Okay? They get offensive, irritated, and may even shun you from their life. There's this rolling of the eyes that occurs. And initially I thought that was, kind of a funny thing, but the more I think about it, it's a programmed response to release out the information you just received. Practice rolling your eyes, okay? Especially rolling them back. Your mind feels a little clearer, doesn't it? Also, it's a technique used in EFT to remove unwanted programs. So interesting, huh? Just an added bit to think about. Not saying it's fact for sure, but something to think about. Another example to look at is the September then 11 situation. Is a fascinating example of how mainstream media works. Lewis Herms, Herms, in his discussion on Nicholas Benyamin BitChute video. I really like Nicholas Benyamin. He's definitely somebody to listen to start weeding out information. Recently talked about how his first impression, again this is Lewis Herms, he recently talked about first impressions when he saw the event that day that I mentioned a moment ago. He right away got, this is a demolition and it's an inside job. Side note, I can have a little bit of information other than that, but from the Voyager series, but he's at least on more of the right track. he's not too far off. It's definitely an inside job. Probably did have some demolition as well with it. Anyway, it took about 3 days, he said, listening to mainstream narrative, and he totally succumbed to the mainstream narrative. Even though logically he knew, and intuitively he knew, the narrative was false. He totally bought into it. He was totally wrapped up in it. the narrative. For many years, he said. And he said once he figured it out, it was like waking up. Like waking up like he'd been asleep. He didn't say this in the discussion, but I have a feeling this experience was a turning point for him to create the freedominaction.net site that he's involved with helping people wake up. So now as we look into the waking up process, the awakening process, yes, we are waking up to this programming. As the higher frequencies from stellar activations and have been coming in and other corresponding fail-safe activations, we have help. The core of Source itself, okay, of our eternal internal expression, okay. Earth has chosen to awaken and ascend. She has said no to the dark forces, meaning all their plans keep getting foiled, okay, and backfiring on them, making us actually wake up even more. Okay? Along with that, okay, we have the Earth Alliance, which really I would say that this is kind of grouped together. The Earth Alliance, the Guardian Alliance, what I call the Guardian Alliance, the Wise Ancient Souls, as Terabyte Janae references them. The are wise ancient off-worlders, kind and loving souls. Guardian Alliance, International Association of Free Worlds, and the Galactic Federation of Worlds, I think, is probably connected with them at some level. I would consider them all the white hats. Have been at work for many years, but particularly very heavily this past year, breaking down the deep state swamp planetary network. Okay. This is allowing for more people to safely speak up, even still with the censorship going on, which is why they at least do not have to be threatened. Their life is not threatened now. You know, all of us are feeling a little bit safer to share. As people come out of their programming, okay, they feel excitement and kind of frightened at the same time. Or they also may even have a sense of revelations. They may have if you're Jinta Tarot, they probably have the Tower card sometimes around them. Tower card can mean revelations. Your whole world, everything that you thought things were built on just comes crashing down and you just see things all of a sudden, okay? And usually with the Tower card, your things were built on a foundation that was not sound, so it doesn't take much to crash it down, okay? So they have their revelation as they snap back into their own knowing, but there is a fear of not knowing what thoughts are real and what are not. And kind of from that website, the Something in Action I'm spacing on, it's kind of suggested to kind of write down the story, whatever the reality is that you thought was real. Excuse me. And kind of write it down a few different times and just feel it out and look at it and just, feel out the words of it and feel it, and to kind of feel it and sense with your own, utilizing your own inner sense, feel and knowing. And again, another way is to, I think personally, to, view, redo, or do the Harmonizing Journey with Katie Yoshiwanita series. Group journeys is helpful, okay? I, of course, offer private sessions and have a class, but what's free you can utilize, which can be very helpful, gaining insights and information, as well as you going and tuning in and connecting with your own inner being, clan family. Focusing again on the pineal. Clearing the pineal is extremely important. Things that you can take, eat, drink, and stuff that can help with that. Because again, you utilize the pineal to connect with your higher self, aka inner being, aka higher forces, in a way that works for each individuus of the one. What you do not, and always keep in mind, what you do not use becomes dormant and inoperative. So use your pineal muscle. Okay? So what are you doing to break, okay, the programming? And it's more than just turning the TV off and not watching the mainstream media stuff, okay? Because, one, friends and family are more than happy to tell you over and over again what the latest programs are. Also, not watching or reading anything keeps you in the dark because you still don't know what the truth is and what it is not. Research different perspectives until you weed out the falsehoods and see the facts out there bit by bit. Trusting with practice your own inner being. Feel out the truth will set you free. Okay? And an example from Lewis Herm's Freedom in Action, the Red Pill Academy, I thought was kind of interesting, is when, now they were talking in terms of when you're trying to help your friends and loved ones, but I'd say it's good information for yourself in your own waking up process. It's phrasing things like, well, what about this? And kind of think about it and process. Or did you know, about this? Let them digest, let yourself digest small pieces of information you kind of take internally and put it through your filters and feel it out. Okay? When you try to hammer information to yourself or to others, it's just, you're going to get the roll in the eyes, the glazed look, the shunning behavior. So be kind, empathetic, patient. We can't help in the areas that we have our blinders on, okay? No matter what those blinders are, okay? We've all been subject to Western civilization programming at some level. Some, obviously, if you're in those certain families, you get it more than others, or you have some coding or something that they like. You may have been in their special little school program things, but everybody in society goes through public school system. Well, the public school system runs these programs, okay? They're into indoctrination, all right? School system's definitely going to be rejiggered, redone, all right? I don't mind the school system falling apart. It's nasty, okay? I don't like it. Didn't like it. It was awful. I hated it. Anybody that's very intuitive and insightful hates school. Okay? All right, at some level doesn't like school. Maybe not hate, but doesn't like school. So, we are all in the same boat. And like that show, 2.5 Men, whatever that name's at the tip of my tongue, I can't remember it. But anyway, he kept saying over and over again, the actor, one of the main actors in that show, I'm winning, and he was having a major nervous breakdown. So, you just don't always know. Okay? You got to be able to step it back and reassess and always relook what's going on with yourself, okay? I, again, really recommend Lewis Herm's and his freedominaction.net and his Red Pill Academy to gain more information for yourself, okay, and others. Again, also HJR Seminars LLC is committed to breaking the old programming, binding you to net earth, that are second creation finite programs, and connecting you with your own eternal clan spirit family of New Earth, or Aurora Earth, We are living in two worlds right now. New Earth, or Aurora Earth, and Net Earth. And Net Earth, aka Deep State. Which world do you want to live in? It's your choice. Kind of a little side note I wanted to say, almost like a little update and sort of really kind of actually sort of another example, is currently, okay, the Earth Alliance, aka Trump, all right, I think it's come out. The Truth and Movement. Anyway, he could have turned over information to overturn the November election. He had it like a while ago. I even knew that a while ago. He chose to follow the wise counsel of the ancient ones of the Guardian Alliance. For, at what cost would it have been to expose that information at that time, back then? We would have been placed in lockdown, maybe even had division of the country, where the normies would have totally just lost it, quote unquote normies, lost it, blamed Trump, and never would have figured out just how bad things were, okay, or are. In the meantime, in this full year, okay, because it's actually an anniversary, basically, around the anniversary time, much of the deep state network has been taken down. I'm not sure saying it's completely gone, but its bulk of it has been taken down. The dumps have been raided and broken up, and the time, this Halloween, couldn't do near what they normally would have done. A lot has positively been done. A lot of different satellites and just different things have been taken down. Hey, Kayla Bobby. Current governments are being played have been played over and over again, puppeted to show their true deep state colors. It was supposed to have been spread out over 7 years, all conglomerated into 1 year. So people could really see, right? We really have to see, take it in, assess, process, right? Don't just take what people say, you gotta show, right? What's the central state of the United States? The show me state. That's important. But now we're seeing the true agendas. Many more people are, and more souls have awakened. We are now have the 80%. Okay, now we can make changes. All right, we can decide: do we still even want to try to fix this fraudulent deep state federal government for those in the United States or all their governments around the world? This is This movie has really just kind of sucked. It's a big one. But it was necessary to allow most of humanity to begin to break down their programming. Okay. Love yourself. Okay. Love your fellow Normie family member. I love mine. Also be kind to your fellow truthers that you don't always agree with. Okay. There is a group of truthers out there, so-called truthers out there, running deep state programs, unconsciously shitting on other truthers. You will know them by their small numbers of followers. Also, they may, again, have some good information, but then turn around and haul off on fault-finding the mainstream truthers. The ones genuinely risking their necks every day to get the truth out. Okay? Just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean that they're wrong. But you don't need to be bad-mouthing others. Say your truth. Stand in it. If you find alternate information that says what you thought was correct isn't correct, state that too. Okay? And be careful, because you might be got a little subpersonality thing going on and you're spitting out trash. Be careful. Watch it. These next few weeks, months, and years will determine the new earth we want to live in. Okay? Again, I suggest that really great website. Plus, please check out my Harmonizing Journey with Katie Yoshiwanita series. If you're on my website, you can either connect fully into the website and scroll and find ones that you resonate with and the little information and background with it. Hey, sweet girl. And also in YouTube, I have a playlist of it, of Harmonizing Journey with Katie Yoshiwanita series. You can run through those. I also have HJR private sessions and a class. The next one will be starting in March of 2022. Donations are also greatly appreciated. I'm not supported by YouTube, and I really don't want to go through that with them anyway. I don't want them watching me like a hawk. So please like, share, comment, and if you haven't yet, subscribed. Thank you so much. Look forward to next time. Thank you. Bye.